What's up, people? This is William Jones making videos about living religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think. And use logic and use reason and realize that religion is fake. Now for this video, I know it's been a while since I've probably done a last one, but I'm not going to apologize for it because I got to live life and do me and pay bills. And YouTube ain't paying my bills. Anybody sending no cash apps and all this other stuff. So I got to work like everybody else and do YouTube in my leisure time. So it is what it is. I ain't begging nobody for nothing. I go out and get mine. Get up, get out and do something. You know what I'm saying? So for this video, check it out. I'm going to read a small insert from a book called Morals and Dogmas. I'm not going to really show the book because it's a Mason book. If you want to look it up, look it up. It's called Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. Somebody put me on. I think it was Mo Jazz. More than likely, Mo Jazz put me on this book. And the book it's a thick book. It's a very thick book, as you see. And as thick as this book is, there are no page numbers in this book. Not one page number. I wrote my own numbers in there and I read it here and there, but it's just so complicated to read because it uses words that you got to pull your phone out and look at the definitions of them and even how to pronounce them. So it's not talking to everybody. It's talking to a select few. It ain't saying yo, this, that, the third. It's not even talking just regular English. It's talking in a code for those who are probably more learned than the masses. It's just said in a way more properly where you would miss what was being said or nod off listening to it because the wording didn't stimulate your mind. I mean, that's what they did. So I'm going to read a small passage, right? And I'm going to read from, chapter 2 called The Fellow Craft. Let me switch my glasses, like Fred Sanford or something. I'm going to read glasses. And bear with me as I read it because I'm just saying it's very wordy, the way it's written. So I'm going to read it. It might not be perfect, but deal with it, okay? Work with me. It reads as follows. In the Orient, in the ancient Orient, all religion was more or less a mystery, and there was no divorce from it of philosophy. The popular theology, taking the multitude of allegories and symbols for realities, degenerated into a worship of the celestial luminaries, of imaginary deities with human feelings, passions, appetites, and lusts, of idols, stones, animals, reptiles. The onion was sacred to the Egyptians because its different layers were a symbol of the concentric heavenly spheres. Of course, the popular religion could not satisfy the deeper longings and thoughts, the loftier aspirations of the spirit, or the logic of reason. The first, therefore, was taught to the initiated in the mysteries. There also it was taught by symbols. The vagueness of symbolism, capable of many interpretations, reached what the palpable and conventional creed could not. Its indefiniteness acknowledged the abstruseness of the subject. It treated that mysterious subject mystically. It endeavored to illustrate what it could not explain, to excite an appropriate feeling. If it could not develop an adequate idea, and to make the image a mere subordinate conveyance for the conception, which itself never became obvious or familiar. Thus, the knowledge now imparted by books and letters was of old conveyed by symbols, and the priests invented or perpetuated a display of rites and exhibitions, which were not only more attractive to the eye than words, but often more suggestive and more pregnant with meaning to the mind. Now, of course, it goes on to say a whole lot more, but if you look at it, they used religion for whatever they wanted to use it for. So if you didn't have, if the words weren't so appealing, you had the symbolism there. So you had the words, you had symbolism, and then you had the rites. And you look at you have every third Sunday, first Sunday, I can't remember, I've been on church so long, when you do the communion, all the things that they do that seem to make the religion like it's real to a God. But the book clearly told you, as I read again, and that's what people liked about Zeus was a hoe and had a lot of children, but he was more human than, like, say, the God of Israel, who's supposed to be perfect, but he's not perfect. His being perfect is always justified by the believer. So when the God of the Christian God, when he murders, it's cool because he created life. It's cool when he does it. When he impregnates a virgin who's espoused to someone else, it's okay because he's the creator. So they want to separate their God from the human aspects, but he's jealous. He gets angry. He can be persuaded, as he was when Aaron, back in Exodus, when Aaron made the gold, he called Moses to the mountain for the 10 Commandments, right? Exodus chapter 20, where he did all that, and afterward, Exodus chapter 20 for reference. Moses and them waiting for him to come down because he was gone 40 days. So they had Aaron construct the golden calf. And then God's upset about this. He wants to wipe out the people and tell Moses, I'll start all over again with you. And Moses had to tell him, no, you can't do this because it would look ridiculous for all the plagues that you did in Egypt. 10 plagues in Egypt. Lead them out with in the daytime you were a cloud to block the sun, and at night you were a pillar of fire to give them heat because in the desert is cold. And then you part the Red Sea, you bring them out here, you got water coming from a rock, you got manna dropping from the sky, and then you're gonna kill them? Look at here. Moses had to tell him, what the crap you thinking, bro? What are you thinking? You can't do that. And the Bible says in Exodus that the Lord repented of the evil he was going to do. So he had human aspects, but the Christians will cover that up like he's not human. He's God. He's totally different. He said in one part, my name is jealous. But he'll tell you in another area, don't be jealous. Come on. He's all about himself. The first 4 commandments, all about him. Ask a Christian, like for instance, let's say I talk to somebody, they'll say, I've been on a job anyway, they'd be like, oh yeah, he an atheist. And somebody was, like I said, people say, so you don't believe in God? And I said, oh, let's be correct. I don't believe in any gods. And then they'll say, well, there's only one God. But the first commandment of the 10 commandments is what? Thou shalt have, in King James, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So what does that mean? If what are you threatened by if there's no other gods? What are you threatened by if you're the only God? I can't understand how you start out as the only God and just disappear and allow people to believe in all kind of false gods and then show up to be like, hey, I'm the real God. You could have been the real God the whole time. Nobody need to worship you, but everybody know you was it. It makes no sense. It sounds so human. It sounds so progressive, like it happened over time and it was added on to as things progressed in certain cultures. It really sounds like that to me. That's what it sounds like. Back to Zeus, and people like Zeus because Zeus was so human. Zeus was having kids all over the place. He turned himself into anything, had sex with somebody. Next thing you know, he got Hercules, and we can name all kind of kids he had. The boy from the what is it? The Titans. What is it? I can't say Revenge of the Titans. Whatever it is. Odysseus. That's what it was. Was it them? Anyway. But anyway, what I'm saying is said that allegories and symbols for realities degenerated into a worship of the celestial luminaries of imaginary deities with human feelings, passions, appetites, and lusts, of idols, stones, animals, reptiles. Because we can look into, especially like, you see a lot of Egyptian gods, and they'll have like the one who got the cow head or the alligator head or a bird head or whatever it might be. It was all just religion. It's not based in reality. It's just based in a system of explaining things to people. They don't really know what's going on anyway. They don't know. So if they do know it, we missing it. We missed it and it ain't came back. So we missed it and it ain't came back. I'm just saying. Religion is what it is. It's just religion. You're explaining things. It shouldn't be so deep. And I think for me, I'm kind of falling back on a lot of things because at first it was all about proving things, but you can't prove it to believers because believers aren't willing to learn anything you want to teach. Which is why, again, the purpose of this channel is leaving religion. If you read what I said about this channel, if you go to the whole thing on my channel, I'm saying I'm talking to people who have left religion. I didn't lead them out of religion. They left religion. Now, if they got led out of it by watching my videos, that wasn't the intent, because the purpose of the videos is to teach you after you've left, because now your mind is more susceptible to receive things outside of the box of religion. When you're in religion, you just can't calculate anything that doesn't line up with the theology of your belief. No matter what it may be, whether it's Christian, Islam, whatever it may be. You are going to believe according to what that religion says. They can't learn properly because everything has to line up with the imaginary beliefs in the Bible, the imaginary history that's in the Bible. It doesn't line up with real history. It's not real. It's not true. So if we went 200 years in the future, and Harry Potter was the new Jesus, we would look at it like that's just stupid. But the Harry Potter people at 200 years in the future would look back at Jesus and say, that's stupid. And then the people now who look back at Mithra or Zeus or Dionysus would look back at them and say, that's stupid. Right? Or even Islam, they look back and say, that's stupid. They look back at Zoroastrianism and they'll say, that's stupid. They'll look back at the gods of Egypt and say, that's stupid. It's stupid because you're in the new thing. You try to tell the new kids, when you try to tell them how important somebody like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, or Daryl in basketball, NBA, in basketball, I'm switching too fast, let me slow down. Daryl Dawkins, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J, You know, Pete, I can't remember Pete's name right now. Pistol Pete, y'all know Pistol Pete. If you try to tell them about how important these people were, they'll talk about LeBron and Steph Curry. They're going to talk about the people of their time and totally forget the people back then. They'll totally forget all of that. Pistol Pete Maravich, was that it? I think that was it. Understand what I'm saying? We forget stuff. We forget stuff as we progress. I was thinking about it today how back in the day, you know, Grandmaster Flash, hip-hop, understand what I'm saying about. For those who know hip-hop. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, or the Funky Focus, one more, all that. But the ones that made the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You ask the kids about them today, they have no idea about them. They don't know about the message. They don't know about White Lines. They don't know about none of the songs that they made. But yet they were inducted. It's like kids were in New York, or young people in New York made a music, Kool Herc, all that. They made this stuff, and now it has spread everywhere. And you know all about Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, Lil whoever, young this person, baby that, but they don't know where it came from. They don't know where it started from in the Bronx in New York back in the 70s. They've lost the history of it. So that's what happens with everything is you go to Christianity, people say, oh, this is the original thing. No. You are the little baby of this thing. You the little baby. You ain't even the Lil Wayne of it. You the little baby of it. You know what I'm saying? You so far from the origins of it. You're not the origin. You're not the beginning of it. Talk about this person is the greatest, but don't know all the people before that. Because in the generation I'm in, if you start saying stuff like, you know, Kevin Durant is the greatest, or Steph Curry is the greatest, or you saw, and then you just cut out, you know, Michael Jordan, you cut out Hakeem Olajuwon, you cut out the mailman, you cut out all these people, you Sean Kemp, you cut out all these people. They be like, hold on, you only know this part, but you don't know the rest of it. Where'd they get the long shorts from? Michael Jordan got tired of them little ball cutters, and they needed some shorts, and pulling them down, they made the shorts longer. Now y'all got longer shorts. They used to couldn't practice in the off season because you get injured, it would mess up your contract. Michael Jordan said, I need the off season to practice to get better. It changed. These people did stuff that you weren't even aware of, and that's why you are where you are. So you look at the religions. Always, I like to take religion and put it into reality. People keep religion in a certain box. No, mix it into reality, then you'll see where it doesn't make sense. When you leave it in a fantasy world, it's cool. No, but mix it into reality, and it doesn't make sense. That's what I like to do, is bring religion, snatch it into reality, then you can compare the two and see it doesn't make sense. That's what I do. Those apologists, they want to start talking and quoting other people. Quote me then. I said it too. I said something, quote what I said. They want to start quoting people that back up what they say. But it's not real. Just because somebody said something long ago and then you quote it doesn't mean it's real. That doesn't make it real. And if it was real, you could produce those same results today. If Jesus was healing back then you could produce the same results and heal with the accuracy that he did today that he said you would have. But y'all get 2,000 people in the building and 30 so-called get healed, and y'all talk about look how the Holy Ghost showed up. Look how Jesus did it. But the Bible says Jesus healed all that were sick. So anybody that was blind could see, anybody that was deaf could hear, anybody that had a sickness was healed. And then some of them, they died before the service was over. He brought them back to life to pay the tithe. Today, y'all get a handful of people talking about something. Look what he did. But how many still rolled out in wheelchairs? How many still rolled out with cerebral palsy? How many still rolled out with cancer? No, you're not showing the results of what the book said you should have. And it doesn't say, and the pastors, because pastors are not very important in the Bible at all. If you read the Bible, it's only mentioned 7 times in the plural form. Pastors are nothing in the Bible. Pastors is something they made up later. I'm saying that position, but pastors were nothing. You're supposed to be the apostles, prophets, and teachers according to the Bible, but today all we talk about is pastors. But the Bible didn't say, and the pastors shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. The Bible had said, and it was in Mark, the one they added that stuff on to, that those that believe in him will lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. It didn't say you had to be clergy or you had a position. It said those that believed in him. But is that what you're seeing today? No. That means if you're telling me you believe in Jesus, what you calling the pastor to come to the hospital for? If you there, it should come through you. It should come through you. If you there, it's on you. But we don't see that. And then you cover it up because you know you can't do it. And the pastor, they can't do it neither. So y'all pray for the person, and then the same person that prayed over him gonna lead his funeral. His or her funeral later. Because you couldn't do jack. Come on, man, telling you stuff is imaginary. Imaginary deities, they got the same feelings as men, the same passions as men, the same way Zeus wanted to sleep with other women when he had Hercules with the mortal woman, and then on top of having the boy with the mortal woman, want to honor his wife and disrespect her in the same sense by naming her after his wife Hera and called the boy Heracles. I know we always say in the Greek form Hercules, the Roman form Hercules, but in the Greek form Heracles. It was Heracles, named after Hera. But Hera sought to kill the boy and gave him what she called the 12 passions. I think it was the passions. I always forget that joint. We had to do 12 things that she knew each one was supposed to kill him. Right? 12. That number 12 is so. And Hercules, what he had? He had a mortal mother. He has a god for, not any god for fire, not Mars, the son of Hercules, not Mercury, a son of Hercules, not none of them, no. But Hercules, but Zeus, the main god Zeus, and a mortal woman sounds just like Yahweh and Mary. Half God, half man has Heracles, aka Hercules, the same way Yahweh and Mary had Yahshua or Jesus. And now he got to do some stuff. And at the end of his, it's not his passions, what is it? I don't know why I can never remember this thing. But after he did the 12 things, he ended up burning himself up, and he ended up back in Mount Olympus with his father. He ended up back in Mount Olympus with his father. The same way Jesus, Father, if there be any other way, let that happen. He had to be crucified. He got to be crucified, come back, and ends up where? Back in heaven with his father. Same narratives, the same thing. It's all mythical. It's the same stuff. And they don't see, what are those things called? They'll have to find out what Hercules had. I just can't even go past this. Labors. Hercules had the 12 labors. That's what Hera gave him. And one of them, I know he had to go kill the lion with the hide that you couldn't pierce. And that's how he ended up wearing the lion's mane, the lion head, all that on him. He had to go get the dog from Hades, the three-headed dog, Cerberus or something like that from Hades. He had to go to Atlas. He went to Atlas to get something that Hera needed. And Atlas tricked Hercules into holding up the earth. And Atlas tried to dip on him like, I ain't coming back, because Atlas didn't want to hold up. Atlas was a Titan. Atlas was actually Hercules' uncle, one of the Titans. And that's what you get he got the whole world in his hand. He got the whole wide world. And he ain't talking about the God of the Bible. He's talking about Atlas. Talking about the Greek god Atlas. He's holding up the world. He's got the whole world in his hand. He got the whole wide world in his hand. And then Hercules had to trick him and take the world back. It's stories. Hercules had his labors, Jesus had his labors. So healing sick folk, bringing people back from the dead, outsmarting the Pharisees, saying some slick stuff. That's all it was. It's just stories. So the book is telling you here, in their book, and they use symbolism, because you know good and well, every rapper gotta have a Jesus piece. And it's got to be that European version of the Jesus. It's got to be him. They got to have the white Jesus. They got to have a cross on them somewhere. They got to have some type of Bible passage tattooed on them. Symbolism. Always about symbolism. Rites. We talked about that, right? Doing what is it? The drinking the wine, or drinking the wine, which is the blood, eating the bread. They got to do some type of symbolism. It's always about symbolism. Somebody bowing down to somebody else, or they have some huge ceremony to promote some person from this to that, and nothing changes. Nothing changes. They don't have no more power than they had when they didn't do that. Nobody recognizes them. You don't be in the grocery store and just, oh, you the man of God. Come on, you can skip the line and come on up here. No, you're not. You're going to wait in that long line like everybody else. You ain't, it's just nonsense. That's what it is. Tricking people who go for the flim flam. Giving them titles, and in church you're always looking for a title. You want a title for something. Just like jobs be the same way. You want a title. So everybody's supposed to respect you. Then they respect you where? If you get a job title, if you get a title on your job, that's where they respect you at. I ain't saying they respect you, they got to honor it because it's on the job, but they'll respect you there on the job. But if they run into you in the grocery store, they can say whatever they want to say to you because it's not on the job. Same as if you are a pastor, a prophet, apostle, whatever in the church, and you come into Walmart, nobody cares. It doesn't matter. It only matters, matter of fact, it only matters in your church circle. That means that the church you attend and the churches that are connected to you, that respect your church, that allow your people to come speak at their church, because the church up the street don't care who you are. Y'all got the same God, supposedly, the same Jesus, supposedly, the same Holy Ghost, supposedly, but you can't go speak at the church right on the corner. You can't go up there and say, hey, I'm apostle such and such, I'm prophet such and such, and God told me to give a word. They ain't letting you speak. You ain't part of their network. It should be one network, but they're not letting you speak because they ain't part of their network. It doesn't work like that. This stuff is man-made. That's what it is. They're sitting there telling you in the book. It is what they saying it is. It's not real. They clearly tell you this, and it's all about, and they give the knowledge in a little bit. So depending on who you are, they give you a little bit of knowledge of it. They give it to you in a simple form. Then once you graduate, they tell you what it really is. So it's not what it really is. It's not what we actually said it was. It's more than that. But you got to go through the proper channels to learn what we're really talking about. That's when you learn when these clubs got these certain handshakes and these certain little gestures they might do, or the way they might keep their hands or something. It's all about the symbolism. So we know who's who in society. I mean, we could go on and on about that. Remember when they had the Sega, what was it, the Sega, was it the Sega Cube? Something to that effect, and they use Ice Cube to promote it. We always got something about Saturn. Always something about Saturn. You got a car called Saturn. You look at the Nissan symbol on their car, it looks like Saturn. Whatever's going on with the Toyota and the 3 circles in their joint, you know what I'm saying? And we even got a day called Saturn's Day. It's symbolism. Symbolism. You look at pictures of Jesus, always see the sun behind his head. Because he's not a S-O-N, he's a S-U-N. The sun always behind his head and he holding up them fingers and whatever. It's always about symbolism. Symbolism. For those who go past just what things normally are. Am I saying there's some spiritual power behind it? I'm not saying that. But I know that there's manpower behind that stuff. For instance, notice this. You might have politicians that have come out and they're openly gay. And they now hold positions. You'll see that, right? Nobody's openly atheist. Ain't got a position. Because people want somebody that believes. Because you'll have, oh, this guy, like when Mitt Romney ran against Barack Obama, he came out as he was a Mormon. You had John JFK, John F. Fitzgerald Kennedy, back in the 60s, right? He was a Catholic. But notice, they might have had a different religion from just being Christian, but they still believed in a God. Nobody's running or can run that doesn't believe in some form of gods. To my knowledge, that's my disclaimer, to my knowledge. Now, if there are any open atheist politicians out there, let me know. I'm not saying I can't learn. I don't want to be wrong. So I will say they could be out there, but I'm saying I don't know of any, because I know in these organizations, they make you pick something. You gotta say you believe in something, because if people go easy with that, knowing that you, because Trump said he was a Christian. Paid off the prostitute, grabbing him in the, everything he said, and the Christians backed him. The evangelicals backed him. They threw their God thing on this godless man, if I was religious. On a godless man, they threw their God cloak on him, and that covered him for the ones that do believe to get the man where he was going. But he clearly knew nothing about religion or Christianity when they asked him, what's your favorite passage? I don't like to discuss that. What's your favorite book in the Bible? It's personal. I don't want to discuss that. You like the Old and New Testament? I don't want to discuss. And then you go have a whole thing where you knock people out of the way to hold the Bible, and you hold the Bible upside down. You clearly don't know anything about this religion, and you don't really care. You just used it for your agenda. But he couldn't come out and say, I don't believe in none of that. Which he doesn't. It's clear he believes in none of that. But you can't say that. You better say you believe in something. And no matter whatever dirt you do, they'll say, oh, he's forgiven. But you can't come out and say you don't believe in nothing. I don't believe in a God. Then you're not going to win. Because people are still spooked by you not believing. As you know, in your own lives, when people find out you don't believe in a God, how do they treat you? Now think about the thousands who are voting. Who's going to vote for you and you say you don't believe in their God? Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So I thought it was going to be a little short video, but it is what it is. Just wanted to put something out there. No, everybody won't agree with it. I don't know. I have to rewatch this video myself. I had to rewatch when I edited it, but I said what I had to say. You know, everybody out there, take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be strong. Do you live your life? Your life is your journey. I ain't leaving nobody out of religion. It's called left religion. You left. We could talk. I'm just making you think, but I ain't leaving you out. It's on you. You gotta walk yourself out of that religion. But y'all take care out there. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.